Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to TGC Talks. I'm your host, Bhupendra Singh. In previous episodes, we spoke about what a tree is, biologically and legally. We discussed how definitions matter and how misunderstanding them leads to conflict, confusion, and costly mistakes. Today, we widen the lens because while trees exist everywhere, the way societies treat them is very different across countries. A tree that can be removed freely in one country may be legally untouchable in another. And for golf courses, which often borrow ideas, architects, and inspiration globally, this difference matters more than most people realize. So, today's episode is about how trees are treated in different parts of the world, what laws governs them, and what real lessons golf courses can learn from global practices. Let me begin with a well known fact. Golf is a global game. Golf course design ideas travel freely across borders, but tree laws do not. What works legally in one country may completely be restricted in another. This is where many misunderstandings arise. A design idea copied from abroad, a management practice seen overseas, a case study admired on social media. But when applied locally, it runs straight into legal resistance. So, this episode is not about which system is right or wrong, it is about understanding context. Let's start with India, where trees are generally treated as protected public assets, even when they stand on private land. Tree protection is governed by state tree preservation acts. Removal, transplantation, or pruning usually requires permission. Compensatory plantation is commonly mandatory. Ownership does not override protection. In practical terms, a tree on a private golf course is not private in the legal sense. The underlying philosophy is this: trees serve a public ecological function, regardless of who owns the land. This approach prioritizes conservation, precaution, long-term environmental stability. For golf courses, this means tree management must be planned, documented, and approved, not be reactive. Now let's move to the United Kingdom. The UK follows a very different approach. Here, not all trees are protected by default. Protection is applied selectively through tree preservation orders, conservation area regulation. A single tree may be legally protected because it contributes to a visual character, historic value, townscape identity. Cutting such a tree without permission can result in heavy fines, legal prosecution. But trees outside these designations may be managed with relatively more freedom. The philosophy here is trees that define heritage and character deserve protection. For golf courses, this means some trees may be completely untouchable. Others may be managed more flexibly. Planning, not blanket protection, is the guiding principle. Now let's look at the United States. The US system is almost the opposite of India's. There is no single federal tree law governing private land. Tree regulations happens at city level, county level, zoning or HOA level. This leads to enormous variation. For example, some cities protect heritage trees, others allow almost unrestricted removal on private property. The underlying philosophy is your land, your tree, unless local law says otherwise. For golf courses, this often means greater operational flexibility, faster decision making, fewer procedural hurdles, but it also places greater responsibility on the landowner to manage trees ethically and sustainably. In Australia, tree protection is closely linked to ecology and biodiversity. Many states regulate trees under planning laws, environmental protection acts, native vegetation regulations. Native species receive strong protection. Clearing often requires ecological assessments, offset planting, government approvals. Golf courses in Australia frequently operate under vegetation management plans, habitat conservation requirements. The philosophy here is clear. Trees are part of the ecological system, not decoration. This approach treats trees as infrastructure for biodiversity. Now let's turn to Germany. Germany treats trees almost like public utilities. Many cities operate under tree protection ordinances known as Baumschutzsatzung. Typically, trees above a certain tree trunk diameter are protected. This applies both on public and private land. Removal requires permission and replacement planting. The philosophy is trees are part of the city's living infrastructure. For golf courses, this means highly predictable rules, diameter based clarity, structured replacement systems. It is systematic and transparent. Finally, let's look at Singapore. Singapore follows one of the most centralized systems. Trees are governed under national legislation with strong oversight from a central authority. Strict permission requirements, scientific risk assessment, heavy penalties for unauthorized work. Even pruning near roads or infrastructure often requires approval. The philosophy is trees are essential to national livability and safety. For managed landscapes like golf courses, this means rigorous arboriculture standards, zero tolerance for shortcuts. So, what do we learn from this global view? Trees laws reflect culture, density, and environmental pressure. No system is accidental. What works abroad cannot be copied blindly. For Indian golf courses, the key lesson is this: global ideas must be adapted to local law. Design inspiration may travel freely, but governance never does. Now, let me leave you with a question. Are trees equivalent to other design elements in golf courses like bunkers and water features, or more than that? Trees in your golf course enforce strategic or penal play? And is your golf course designed with trees as element or decorated? Share your thoughts in the comments. In the next episode of TGC Talks, we'll explore trees as an element of golf course layouts, their placement and impact on the game of golf, and common tree placement mistakes, and how penal, strategic, and heroic designs can be achieved using trees as an element in golf courses. When does a tree add strategy and when does it simply punish? And how tree placement quietly changes shot value and fairness in the game of golf. Thank you for watching. I'm Bhupendra Singh. This is TGC Talks. See you in the next episode.